Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ludendorff City Hall in Lamordia for a quick little go over a couple of things I wanted to show. First of all, the crafting system in here, and secondly, I wanted to have a little look at this business of dark gifts, as one of you had touched upon the fact that there is a shrine in the wilderness area to allow any class, not just the dark bargainer, to have one of these dark gifts. So we'll look at the crafting thing first. So the crafting devices are located up the stairs here, just to the side, these two here. Now, unlike the Dino, the Isle of Dread expansion, where it was legendary only, this one, as you can see, there is a heroic as well. I'm going to focus on the heroic as this is something new. The legendary, another reason for focusing on the heroic is I think something is broken at the moment, and even legendary quests are only dropping heroic ingredients. I hope that will be sorted out in the update tomorrow, among other things, because the wilderness in general is kind of giving heroic rewards instead of legendary. I hope as well to bring you my usual run through the wilderness with the emphasis on the finding of the rares, particularly the purple names. I've not had a look at that yet, but I'm going to wait until they update it for proper legendary rewards to try and make it worth my while, mercenary little bugger that I am. So, what can we do with the heroic stuff? So, just like in Isle of Dread, if you're used to that, you'll be fine with all this as well. You go around in the quests and you collect 4 different pack ingredients here. Look, alternators, resistors, insulators, conductors. It's kind of themed around the electric shock treatment thing of the treatment of the mentally ill, I guess. And the 5th one, the I think is it bleak wires or something like that. That's available from the rare chests in the wilderness, just like the Tyrannosaurus teeth in the Isle of Dread pack. But unlike that one, as I mentioned, you can totally collect ingredients on the heroic version of the wilderness as well. So what kind of nice things can we do? Well, it's the first one that's allowed heroic crafting, I think, since, am I right in saying since the slave lords, crafting of this type? So it's quite a comprehensive thing. There's 2 things you can do. I think we can almost call them crafting blanks. The gear that drops in the quests themselves, I've got a couple of examples. They're few and far between because I don't get many to drop. Maybe I've only got 1 here on this character actually. Okay, well that's an illustration of how few you actually find on a run through. I've just done a complete run through on Elite, not Reaper, because I'm trying to get this little tank back to the cap. So although he's got damage related gear, all the feats are tank related, so he's struggling a little bit, having to use hirelings as you can see here, so less than ideal. But yeah, we can see here we've got the basis for an item, so we've got Tendon Slice and Insightful Double Strike, but we've got a blue slot there, and we've also got 2 Lamordia crafting slots that we can put, so Melancholic and Dolorous. Let's just see what kind of things we could add on. So it's telling you there that's a weapon only, so it's got the usual things, Metaline bypass plus damage that we were used to seeing in the Dino ones. So that's all that lot. But what about for accessories? So we can have +5 on any stat. Not terrible. We can have false life. And then there's the castery type things. Now that's one thing I have noticed, particularly for casters. There's some quality stuff in here, like 35 insightful bonus to your spell power, which would only normally be available from level 10 with the Canith crafting. So this is allowing you to have access to that kind of thing a couple of levels earlier. Quite nice. So for any casters, or even like Eldritch Knight or excuse me, Arcane Archer types, you can have your spell power plus your insightful spell power. So what kinds of things could we put on we've got a dolorous one as well. So again, well, those are the insightful spell power. Now those look really good, depending on the build, of course. So what else can we do apart from insightful? Oh, we've got the combat related stuff as well. So we've got all the standard combat things. And that's pretty good for level 8, isn't it? Plus 8 accuracy, plus 4 damage. We've got Seeker as well there. Sneak attack damage. So a lot of flexibility, and bear in mind, quite a bit of this stuff is stuff that you couldn't Canith craft. Now I know the damage one is available as a topaz, but these two aren't. Deception and Seeker. And you can't Canith craft them either. So that kind of thing gives you quite a nice bit of flexibility. And then the second thing to look at is the weapons. So you've got a comprehensive list of weapons here, all of which have vampirism, so healing you for a small amount on each hit. And then you've got 3 different augments you can put in there, as well as the standard red augment slot. So we've got melancholic, dolorous, and miserable. Miserable, I think, is the one that, yeah, that's right, that ingredient, the bleak wires, come from the wilderness outside. So we've got basic spell powers for the castery peeps, but we've also got tactics type stuff there. Assassinate, more spell related stuff. And then we've got our exceptional bonus to stat. Now there are exceptional bonus and also quality bonus. So you could have it end up with +2 on a stat that was important to you. The exceptional, as far as I know, are only normally available on level 20 plus items. Those diamonds of exceptional strength, I think they're epic, aren't they? So too is the globe of true imperial blood, +1 exceptional all stats. I think that's mid-20s. So these are, I guess it's a first for them to offer this kind of thing so low. Now we've got maiming, we've got destruction as well there to reduce the armor class and fort of the target. So some pretty good effects to say they're available at low level. Various banes, we've got armor piercing there. And plenty of the castery stuff as well. I won't dwell too much on it, but just suffice it to say that there's a comprehensive crafting system there now, catering for the heroic TR crowd, which is nice. If you're not at all interested in life at the cap, there's something there for you. The other thing I wanted to touch on, as mentioned, was this business of the dark gifts. So as you can see, we've completed all the quests with this character. We've been to the Actually, I think there was one I still had. He's up here, the patron. Now, the first one you get is an interesting one. For any melee or ranged, it's plus 5% fort bypass, which, as far as I know, it's a first for favor rewards. So that's a really nice one to have. Except that this character's an out-and-out tank, so won't benefit from that when he gets to where he's going. But the second one is one to benefit everybody, plus 5 hit points. So thank you very much for that. So then we go to if I can remember where they are. It's got all the standard saga rewards, but there is also now this option for offering to the dark powers. Now, I've done the saga on elite. I don't know if you would get this if you just went through it on normal. And if that's the case, you know, anybody can access it on any character, which would be nice. So we just pick that up as our reward. And all we're going to do now is take that to the shrine, which is to the southeast corner of the wilderness, near one of the quests. I'll show you where it is. Let's just stop for a minute and have a little bit of a talk about some of these dark powers. As far as I can tell, there are two of them that are quite compelling in that the drawbacks are minimal, or maybe even, you know, not impactful at all. So the first one is the negative. There's one dealing with negative power, isn't there? And I think the only drawback is positive healing amp and spell power, I think, are lowered. But if you're something like a Pale Master or a Dark Apostate or something like that, the only time that would impact you at all is if you're on the receiving end of positive healing from other people. Generally speaking, those characters are self-sufficient regarding the healing. So I could see that being a, you know, a definite one to take for those types. The other one is what's it called? Is it Force of Pain? This is the one I've got earmarked for this character. And as somebody has mentioned to me already, it seems almost like, especially when you get it upgraded, it seems almost like having a second copy of defect warding on your character. So what it does when you first acquire it, I should probably mention, you acquire these dark gifts in 2 stages. So we've just gone and got the heroic offering reward. We're going to go to the shrine, get the heroic version of the dark gift, which in our case is going to be this Force of Pain thing. It's going to give us 5 PRR and MRR, and just like the defect warding, every time we get hit, we'll get 2 PRR and MRR added, but we'll also incur a 1 penalty to both speed and the mana cost of our spells. Now, a standard tank like this really doesn't do too much in the way of spells, and also he will have 10% speed boost. Just ignore all this. This is sort of offensive stuff. I'm having to go offensive just to get him to the cap, but after that, it'll all be respect. Where are we? So Sacred Defender here has a 10% speed boost anyway. So even at maximum stacks of that, we would still be moving reasonably quickly, I would have thought. So that's the one I'm planning to get. Now, if we come back later on, which I fully plan to do the legendary saga at cap, go back and get the legendary upgrade to that gift, and that's just another 10 PRR and MRR added to our total, like the standard defect warding would be. The two of them stack together, and well, I'll show you when we acquire the feat. The feat is displayed in its own separate section in the feats list, so you can see where it is. One thing to bear in mind as with most things, these things will disappear on a TR. So I would only really recommend, I suppose, taking the heroic version on your way up is absolutely fine. Could be a good thing to do. But I'd only really recommend going after the full thing if you plan to spend some time at the cap. Now, this tank is going to stay at the cap for a long, long time, as is my Paladin Fools. So I plan to give them both this feat, and I am, of course, going completely the wrong way. It's down here. I think that might be the shrine, and this is the quest, the Temple Pass quest. That's where it's just next to. So that's the area I want to be in. I'm just giving you another little look round what I think is a pretty decent wilderness. While I'm going there, I should mention well, given what I'm reading in the forums, are we going to be able to get through here? Oh, no, I don't think we are we? We can go down there. I'm shocked at that. I mean, you can see here there's no lag or anything, is there? Apparent, and there hasn't been since I have well, since we've transferred to Moonsea. It's been almost completely lag-free. I would actually say that it's the best I've ever had in game, including, you know, when I first started all those years ago. So I'm sad to hear what's going on, you know, on the other side. That's another example of a red name that's not a red name. It's just a standard thing. No chest, no encounter, no nothing. I don't like that. But yeah, I'm I'm pleased for me. Maybe it's something to do with the fact that I am very close now to the server. I'm in the UK and the server I think is in Holland, so relatively speaking, it's next door compared to the American ones I was playing on. But the difference has been like night and day. I mean, the Orion experience, especially when the community decided to turn that into their main server, it was like going through treacle half the time, just really struggling. So to have this now, all I can say is I'm grateful and I'm sorry for what all the rest of you are going through. Hopefully in the not too distant future they can get it sorted. I'm with the rest of the people in the forum, you know, down tools and focus everything on the performance while there's still a player base left. I know at least one good friend who was a VIP ever since I can remember, who's dropped the VIP for the first time I can remember because he simply can't play at the moment. So sad times on that score. Anyway, returning to the matter at hand, we've come to the shrine with our offering. We want to claim a heroic gift. It gives you the list here. The one we want is the Form of Pain. Yes, I wish to claim this gift. And if we now look in our feats, see towards the bottom, oh, we'd better see. I have tested it on a different character, so I'd be gutted if it wasn't there. So there you go. Form of Pain temporarily acquired. It's telling us what it does there. 5 PRR and MRR. When we take damage, we get... Actually, isn't the Defig warding only from melee damage, or is it any damage? I can't check here because this one obviously doesn't have it. I mean, that's another nice thing. I mean, this is we're not even halfway into heroic, and we've got what amounts to a late epic feat there. So if you can live with the spell cost and the speed reduction, that is really strong. And as I mentioned, this one's being built as a tank, and he's going to go along with a squishy archer, so he's just going to sit in the middle of all the piles of things. So I would think that is going to be put to serious use. So I look forward to testing that one out. And then in Epic, as I said, we will go and do the same thing again, upgrade it, and we'll have another 10 PRR and MRR to go with it. I'm led to believe you can actually change your gift, but you have to do the saga again and come with another offering and change it over that way. So it's just a nice way for, well, you've got to have the pack obviously, but a nice way for any class to get something, and you don't have to be a dark bargainer to do it. Now, dark bargainer, as I understand it, has the one obligatory at the start and could come and do this to get a second one if they so wished. Okay, I think that's about it. Just wanted to share that little bit, and to say I've been having plenty of fun. I've seen all the quests now. I like it. I'm quite a fan of this area, the quest in general. As mentioned, the rare loot doesn't bother me because I'm not doing anything with it. If I happen to find something, then great. Otherwise, I'll just, run the thing as normal, like once on heroic for leveling, and once at the cap, as a saga thing. And if anything comes, marvelous. And if it doesn't, I'm not going to shed any sleep over it. So from this rather snowy evening, I will bid you all well, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully that might be a run round some of the rares, and I plan to show some of the quests as well at the cap. The reason I haven't done that, again, I'm just waiting on that until they resolve the chest contents, so they make it applicable to legendary, because it would be nicer to go around and actually collect legendary stuff for doing legendary quests. Okay, that's about it. Happy questing, people, and I'll speak to you next time. Take care.